Jim, we've been talking a lot about the customer side of the equation, and there are multiple stakeholders that a business is responsible for. And I want to get to the metrics. So are there specific metrics that a company should be thinking about, or maybe are even being tested now to help respond to the different stakeholders, of which customer is part of that? We're always passionate about customer, but I understand that businesses have a much broader view in this future forward reporting. What kind of metrics are starting to bubble up?
It's a great question you're asking, and it's one, actually, if you put a mirror to the situation, if you're not asking that of your customers, it means you're not asking that question of your suppliers as well. And
Ooh.
that's a weakness within your organization. So it really is, take a look at what are you valuing in terms of the relationships that you're procuring your goods, your services from. So one of the ones that's out there, and it is out there in a pretty consistent way, is Net Promoter Scores. These are independently verified. Would you recommend so-and-so to your product, your service, what you're trying to do? And that's a really good one. It's one that you should be using in terms of evaluating your own performance, but it's also very important in terms of what the way you're looking at the people that, or the organizations you're buying your product from. Social engineering, or social, I'll call it social spend, what your involvement is another one where people are going to be asking you, tell us about the stakeholders in the communities that you're supporting us. Let us see the involvement of your executives and your people. Are they on boards? Are they involved in the community? How much time is committed to the community to help out maybe with local school matters or environmental matters within your community? So there's a scoring that will be created around those lines. Stakeholder engagement, the measurement of it, I don't think it's the measurements. I think it's the quality of that stakeholder engagement. I think it's identifying and know clearly you're a supporter of us, and we want to make sure that we understand your concerns and cares. And again, it's within your employees, it's within government, it's within your supply chain, and again, your customer is the most important one. You have to be engaged, and it has to be a quality of engagement. And the more you can get it supported by third parties getting involved and providing that independent thought and confirmation, that's just simply going to be more powerful. The last one is your R&D. If you're not looking at the people you're supplying, and they're not doing any research and development or development of their products and services better, your strength is going to be hurt by their weakness. And so it goes the same way. So companies are looking at these and saying, tell us about how you're investing in your people. How are you getting them ready for digital transformation? How are you using our information better? Are you protecting the private information that we're giving you? And how do you do so? Or give me comfort around that. So I think these are some of the measurements that you're going to start seeing more and more frequently. And as people become more familiar with it, as they test that first and second generation of these ideas, it's going to get better and better over time. Again, I think the most important one is tell the world, I know who my stakeholders are. Let those stakeholders know. Let them also know that you're making an investment in them. Begin that process of mutual engagement on how do we best serve each other, and then document it and look for ways of making improvements on it going forward.
Yeah, and the thing that I love about when you talk about these measures over time, to me, that means that every metric that comes into the business reporting at the top is trendable, and probably trendable and sliceable through the rest of the organization, so that when you have these probably a small number of key metrics, you're very much looking at how they're moving over time. The question I would worry about is if I'm the CEO of a Fortune, of a new company that's using this metrics approach, you can't always have everything go up and to the right. And yet Wall Street absolutely hammers companies when they don't hit one of those metrics going up and to the right. Are companies starting to see that, how are they dealing with this vulnerability of, I'm exposing all these metrics that I may or may not be good at, and how is the market going to respond to me?
I'll begin it with just, it is a different type of reporting. So when I look at integrated reporting that's taking place, they are required, not just your financial statement results of what yesterday was, not just an opinion on the controls you have in your organization for better decision making, but what they're looking at, they're saying, can you articulate clearly, can you share with the world your business model? How do you create value? And people are very nervous about that because this is how I make my money. If my competitors knew that, I'm worried about that. So that's a problem. The second one is they have to sit down and they have to share both in short term, medium term, and long term. These are some of the business decisions ahead of us. That's scary. But I also have to go and articulate what are the consequences of inaction or action. So, for example, if I make a strong play on a bank and I make a stronger play on engagement with our customer base using technology tools that are 24/7, one of the adverse effects might be I may not need as much square footage in my branch offices. I may not need as many branch offices. In order to spur that change. That's uncomfortable. This is very uncomfortable. But here's why this is really important, though, is we're talking about managing a different type of asset today. These are intangible assets. They can disappear quickly. And so if you're not thinking about this thing differently, you can wake up one day, as GE had to do, write off goodwill. And it doesn't happen quickly. It happens very quickly. And so these are the challenges. And if we use the methods of measurement, if we use the managerial approach that we were using yesterday, we're going to fail to protect our intangibles. And so people are really saying, I hate to say this, you've got to be more transparent. If I have a business model that creates a value and I'm part of an ecosystem and the other members of that ecosystem don't know I exist and I don't have a relationship with them, I'm in a weakened situation. I have to know who those stakeholders are. They have to know who I am. And we have to be having a conversation together to be stronger together. Again, it's building a stronger business, a stronger ecosystem for that industry, a stronger community. And you create, again, I hate the bottom line of more sustainable enterprise.